Hi, I'm Melissa. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to do a yoga practice for the neck and for the shoulders. A lot of times what happens with our modern lifestyle is we're kind of rounding the shoulders forward throughout our day. Maybe we're looking down at the phone. So this happens to shorten the muscles in the front of the body and then lengthen the muscles in the back of the body. So as we move through our practice today, it's going to be very balancing and very aligning for the neck and for the shoulders. We'll come into different stretches for the neck and the shoulders and just try to create overall more balance and alignment in the body. So to start today, I'd love to start in a child's pose. So as you come into child's pose, you may want to grab a blanket to pad the knees. So you don't have to have props. But for this yoga practice today, we may use a blanket, we may use a couple of blocks. We may come into some stretches using a strap, so you can grab a yoga strap. But if you're at home and you want to use a belt or a jump rope or something like that, that would be perfectly fine. So as you come into child's pose, this is where we're going to center. We'll kind of tune into our bodies. We'll also connect with our breath here, and we'll just begin our practice. There'll be a couple of options for child's pose. So the knees can be together. That's going to help to give a stretch for the hips and for the legs. And then you would fold forward here. And then another option would be to draw the knees together. And this is going to help to give a nice opening for the back body. So we'll just fold down. So whichever feels comfortable here. So as you exhale, allow for your hips to move down towards the heels. And then also allow for your heart to move down to the ground. And then maybe scan your body here. Notice where you might be holding onto tension. And then with each exhalation, letting that tension go. Connect with your breath. And then maybe feel the breath flowing in and flowing out of the nostrils. If you would like, you could set an intention for your yoga practice. Intentions are a nice way to connect us to the practice and to help make the practice our own. And then intention really could be anything, maybe to clear the mind of thoughts, to keep the breath freely flowing in and out. Engage your core. We'll begin to move forward. We'll transition into table. So as you align your body in table, maybe grabbing a blanket here to pad the knees. We'll have our knees in line with the hips. We'll take our wrists in line with the shoulders. And feel that the fingers are fan wide. Ground through the pointer finger and ground through your thumb. Moving into a little flow for thread the needle, we'll start by extending the right hand up towards the sky. Draw your arm underneath your body. And then we'll take a deep breath in here. Extend that right hand up. So reach the hand up, stretch the hand up, and release. And then flowing with the breath for a moment. So this is going to be a really nice stretch to open that right shoulder. And then also help to get into the right side of the neck. And then settling into that stretch for thread the needle. So we're going to draw the arm under the body. We'll pause here for a moment. So finding your drishti, finding that one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. Option to stay here. There's a couple of options if you wanted to make it more challenging. The left toes can curl under and you can straighten the leg. Option to stay here. Maybe feel the leg lifting up. Maybe reach the left hand up. And then there's also a variation to take the hand to meet the foot. Releasing. Hand will ground down. Knee will ground down. And we'll create a nice smooth movement here. So as you ground through that left hand, right hand reaches up towards the sky. And begin to create circles here. And then flow in the opposite direction. Releasing. We'll realign, we'll come back into our tabletop. Warming up the spine here, we'll flow through a cat and a dog stretch. Breathe in, lower the stomach, lift the heart. The tailbone will lower, the crown of the head will lower. So we'll flow with the breath here for a moment. Try to lengthen the spine as you breathe in. Lengthen through the spine as you breathe out. As you inhale, feel the shoulders relax from the ears. We want to create space between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down the back. And then on the exhale, really rounding through the back body. Imagining creating space between the shoulder blades. Moving into a neutral spine, we'll come back to a neutral table. Left hand reaches up, so we're going to stretch the hand up. Thread the arm under the body, so we're going to create that movement on this side. Inhale and exhale. Moving into thread the needle, so we'll find our stillness here for a moment. And then using the breath, so we're going to breathe into that shoulder stretch, breathe into the neck stretch. Moving into thread the needle, so you can have the right knee right where it is, maybe straighten the leg, maybe the toes are curled under. If you'd like a deeper stretch, the leg can lift up. You could also take the right hand up towards the sky. Maybe draw the hand to meet the foot if you would like. And then releasing, hand releases, leg releases. Grounding through that right knee, grounding through the right hand. Left hand extends up, so reach that hand up towards the sky and find your circles here. And then flow in the opposite direction. And then releasing. We'll realign back into table and taking a seated posture for a moment. So if it feels comfortable for a seated pose to sit with the legs crossed, that's great. If you'd like to sit with the legs extended, you can always sit if that feels more comfortable for the legs and for the hips. We'll start by taking a gentle neck stretch here. Right hand will lower down to the ground. Left hand reaches up and over. We'll take a breath here to lengthen. Soften the left ear to the left shoulder as you exhale. And then breathing into that stretch through the right side of the neck. So breathing in deeply and breathing out deeply. Letting that go. Left hand lowers down, right hand reaches up and over. Take a breath here to lengthen. Soften the right ear to the right shoulder as you exhale. And then letting that go. So realign through the back of the neck. Draw your chin into the chest. Lengthen the back of the neck. Allow for the head to roll to the right. So we'll take a gentle side stretch here, gentle neck stretch. We'll flow back through center. Left ear moves to the left shoulder. And then realigning. You maybe draw the hands onto the knees. We'll just take a moment here to circle the head. So we'll just come into a little bit of gentle organic movements. And then as you circle the neck, just noticing if there's any spots that feel tender, if you feel a little bit of stretching, a little bit of sensation. And then flow in the opposite direction. And then as you circle, just notice also. So it may feel very natural to circle in one direction. And then it may feel a little unnatural to circle in the other direction. Also, as you circle in one direction, maybe more of a stretch shows up, maybe more sensation shows up. And then releasing. We'll begin to realign through the back of the neck, transitioning back to our tabletop. And then as you set up for your tabletop, prepare to move into a downward facing dog. So as you come into downward facing dog, feel that grounded connection through the hands, ground through the pointer finger, ground through the thumb. Toes curl under, backs of legs will lengthen, drawing your sitting bones up towards the sky. Allow for movement here. It may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee. Maybe the head relaxes yes, and the head relaxes no. So nice, gentle stretching here to get into the backs of the legs, getting into the low back and the back of the neck. The knees will lower down to the ground. We'll set up for a dolphin stretch. So as you take tabletop, moving down onto the elbows, reach for opposite arms. Hands will come out in front. Either fingers interlock, palms will touch, or press your hands down into the mat. Toes will curl under, backs of the legs will lengthen, moving into dolphin. So as you align in dolphin, we work to create that upside down V shape with the body. Spine lengthens here, back of head, back of neck relaxes and releases. And then feeling that strong connection of the forearms into the ground, lift from the shoulders, finding length and finding space. Knees will lower down. Toes will curl under, and we'll work a little bit with a toe stand. As you come into toe stand, we'll take our hips back onto our heels, draw the hands onto the shoulders, and begin to create circles here. So maybe finding large circles, maybe finding smaller circles, whatever feels best through the shoulders. Flowing in the opposite direction. Releasing. Moving into tabletop, tapping the tops of the feet out on the mat. And we'll move back into downward facing dog as you exhale. In downward facing dog, draw your toes to the hands. We'll draw the feet forward. Coming into a forward fold. We'll come into Uttanasana. In forward fold, maybe create a little bit of movement here. So maybe bend one knee, bend the other knee. The head relaxes yes. The head relaxes no. As you find stillness here, we'll take a flat back, halfway lift, hands onto the shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Forward fold as you exhale. Engage the core, ground down through the feet, reverse swan dive. We'll sweep the hands up towards the sky into prayer, drawing the hands into the heart space as you exhale. Allow for the arms to move alongside the body. Take a breath in here. Draw the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale and exhale. And we'll take that one more time with the breath. Hands will move to prayer at heart space. Right foot begins to lift. We'll work with crane, or we'll work with tree rather. So on tree pose, toes can be on the ground for support. You can lift that right leg anywhere on the right foot, anywhere on the left leg that feels comfortable. We just don't want to place the foot right onto the knee joint. So below the knee or above the knee is just fine. And then depending if the shoulders are feeling okay, maybe extend the hands up towards the sky as you breathe in. So in tree pose, try to feel the shoulders relax away from the ears. Create space between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down the back. Transitioning into a warrior three pose from here. You may want to take the hands into the heart space into prayer. Right foot begins to float back, warrior three. So work with our balance warrior. You can always have your foot on the ground for support if you'd like. Engage your core. Feel your tailbone tap. Feel the navel move back and up towards the spine as you breathe in. Moving into a warrior one pose from here. Right foot will lower down. Heel will be grounded. Hands extend up towards the sky as you inhale. In warrior one, allow for the tailbone to tuck. Feel yourself reach from the low back and imagine creating space between the vertebrae. And then feeling the vertebrae float one on top of the other. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Reach out through the crown of the head. Hands will move into a steeple variation. Fingers will interlock, release the index fingers. And then just taking that little different stretch here for the shoulders. Feel the arms active. Feel the arms frame the ears. Fingers are active. Reach out through the fingertips. Releasing, we'll move into a runner's lunge. As you align in runner's lunge, maybe taking a deeper bend into that left knee. So we want to feel that the hips are moving down here. We get a little bit of a hip stretch, a little bit of a leg stretch. Moving into a plank position. Left foot steps back to meet that right foot. High plank. Knees can lower if you'd like to modify. And then moving into a Sphinx pose from here, we'll begin to lower down to the ground. So use that arm strength, use that shoulder strength to lower down. Hands will glide out in front. Elbows in line with the shoulders. Feel the fingers fan wide. Option to stay here. So this is a nice stretch for the low back. For a deeper back bend, hands will press down. Elbows will lift up. Elbows wrap in towards one another. Low Cobra Bhujangasana. Arms can straighten if you'd like for a little bit of a deeper back bend, coming into a seal pose. Feel yourself reaching out through the crown of the head. Lower down to the ground as you exhale. Take a breath in here. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. In down dog, toes to the hands, draw the feet forward. Halfway lift, flat back, hands to the shins. Forward fold, mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, hands to heart as you exhale. Arms alongside the body, big breath in here. Shoulders draw up, back, and down. Inhale, exhale. And then we'll take that one more time with the breath. The left foot will begin to lift. We'll try tree on this side. So you may find that it may be more challenging on this side. It may feel a little easier. You may have to adjust the positioning of the foot on the leg also. Hands up if you'd like that shoulder stretch. In tree pose, Maybe feel your left knee rolling towards the back of the room a little bit. That's going to help to give a little bit of a hip stretch and a little bit of a leg stretch. Moving into warrior 3. Maybe draw the hands into the heart space into prayer. Left foot will float back. We'll take Virabhadrasana tree. Try to create one long line flowing from the left heel to the crown of the head. Gazing down to the ground. Allow for the back of the neck to be long. Feel the crown of the head as a natural extension of your spine. Warrior 1, left foot back, heel will lower, hands to the sky as you breathe in. In warrior 1, let go of any tension here through the shoulders. Feel the shoulders relax away from the ears. Create space between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. Hands into steeple. Reconnecting to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out deeply. Releasing, runner's lunge. Make sure that that right knee and the right ankle are stacked here. So you could have your hands on the blocks for support if you'd like. Left knee can lower onto the mat if you'd like. Moving into plank, right foot to the back of the mat. As you find plank, knees off of the ground or knees can lower for that modification. We'll move into a boat pose from here. Keep the length in the spine as you lower, Chaturanga. Arms alongside the body. Palms will face down. We'll take a breath in here. Lift the legs, lift the torso. Arms will lift up for Navasana. Try to feel the fronts of the shoulders moving towards the back of the room. Lower down to the ground as you exhale. We'll take a breath in, pressing up into a tabletop. In table, setting up for dolphin plank. So similar to dolphin that we were in at the beginning of our practice. A little different because this one's going to be great for strengthening the shoulders and the arms, but also nice core work here too. So we reach for opposite arms, just to make sure that the elbows aren't too far from one another. Hands out in front, either fingers interlock, palms touch, or pressing the hands into the mat. Toes will walk back, toes will curl under for plank. So feel that strong, grounded connection of the forearms into the earth. Lifting through the shoulders, finding length and find space. Knees will lower. Child's pose as you exhale. Engage your core. We'll begin to float forward. We'll take table. Moving into down dog as you exhale. Curl your toes under, backs of legs will lengthen. Draw the sitting bones up towards the sky. Working with rock star, we'll begin to extend that right leg up towards the sky. We're going to thread the right leg under the body, kick it off to the left side of the room. Come onto the outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of your left foot. Both of the legs are straight. Left hip's going to reach the sky. Left hand reaches up towards the sky. So nice shoulder strengthening stretch here. We'll come back to our three-legged dog. So shift a little bit on the hands, little bit on the feet. Three-legged dog. Float your foot forward. Moving into a crescent warrior. Engage your core to rise up. As you align in crescent, maybe feel your left hip moving forward a little bit. Right hip draws back slightly. And then same thing through the shoulders, left shoulder forward a little bit, right shoulder back just a bit. Allowing for movement here as you exhale, we'll begin to straighten the front leg. Take the arms alongside the body, palms face forward. Inhale back into crescent. As you exhale, release. Flowing with the breath here, so just breathing into that nice gentle movement for the shoulders.
Govinda, Govinda, Hari, Hari, Govinda.
Stillness, we'll come back to crescent. Take a breath in here, warrior two as you exhale. And then in warrior two, feel that strong grounded connection through all the parts of your right foot. Ground firmly into the outer edge of your left foot. Feel the shoulders floating over the hips. We want to create that line moving through the spine. Right hand begins to reach up and back. We'll take a reverse warrior stretch. Left hand can glide down the left leg. Maybe wrap the arm around the low back. Reach for the opposite hip crease. Warrior two. Right arm to the right leg for a lateral angle. And then if you'd like a little bit of a deeper stretch, you could draw your right hand down to the ground. Maybe that left hand reaches to the sky. Maybe reach that hand to the front of the room. And then you could also take the arm around the low back. Maybe reach for the opposite hip crease. And then just trying not to collapse here into the bottom shoulder. Create a little bit of lifting here, a little bit of lengthening. Engage your core. We'll rise up. We'll take it back into warrior two. Right leg will straighten. Right hand up and back. Reverse triangle stretch. Reaching from the right waist. Lengthen through the whole right side of the body. Through the arm, through the fingertips. Flowing up, we'll take it to warrior two. Transition to a runner's lunge. Step back into plank. You can always modify cobra or up dog, lower down chaturanga. Cobra or up dog, so breathe into the shoulder stretch. Shoulders relax from the ears. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Moving into our rock star, left leg extends up. Float the leg under the body. Kick that left leg off to the right side of the room. So outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of your right foot, and outer edge of your left foot. Right hand to the sky, right hip reaches up to the sky. Moving into three-legged dog. And then float the foot forward, crescent warrior. And then as you align in crescents, reconnect to the rise, to the fall of the breath. Lengthening the breath as you inhale, lengthen through the breath as you exhale. Movement here, left leg will straighten, arms alongside the body, palms face forward. Inhale and exhale. Aligning back into stillness, we'll move back into crescent. Warrior two as you exhale. And then in warrior two, feeling the spine lengthening here, back of neck, back of the head lengthens. And then hands won't actually move, but imagine left fingertip stretching forward, right fingertip stretching back. Reverse warrior, left hand up and back. Maybe taking that half bind if you'd like with the right arm. Flowing back up, warrior two. Left arm to left leg, lateral angle. And then maybe deepening that stretch if you'd like. Maybe the hand will lower down. Maybe walking that right foot back a little bit, hand to the sky. Maybe the arm creates an angle. And then maybe feel the arm wrap around the low back, reaching for the opposite hip crease. Rising up. We'll take it back into our warrior two pose. Left leg will straighten. Left hand up and back. Reverse triangle stretch. Expanding through the lungs, expanding through the ribs. Deep full breath in and out. Rising up. Back into warrior two. Transition to runner's lunge. And then in runner's lunge, we'll step that right foot forward to meet the left foot. We'll be in a forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back, and release. Mountain pose as you breathe in. Hands to heart as you breathe out. Maybe take one hand to the heart, one to the navel, closing the eyes for a moment. Reconnecting to the breath. And then in this moment, feeling your body moving just one breath at a time. Deep full breath in, deep full breath out. Breathing in here, hands will extend up towards the ceiling. Working a little bit with the shoulder stretch, the right arm begins to bend, so the right hand moves down the back body, and then left hand will guide that shoulder stretch. Really easy to round here, so just try to feel open through the collarbones, feel the spine lengthen. Hands extend up towards the sky. Left hand moves down the back body. Breathing in, breathing out. And then releasing. Hands will extend up. We'll draw the hands to the sides of the body. Big breath here. Take the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale. And exhale. We'll take that one more time. Breathing in here. Hands will extend up towards the sky. Steeple hands here, so fingers will interlock. Release the index fingers. Take a breath to lengthen. Draw the hands to the right as you exhale. Maybe feel your left hip pressing to the left side of the room a little bit, giving you that nice deep side stretch through the left side of the body. We'll float up, spine will realign. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, hands to the left. Maybe feel your left hand pulling that right hand to the left a little bit, so almost moving you deeper to the side stretch. We'll realign. Forward fold as you breathe out. Flat back here, halfway lift. Plant the hands. We'll transition to plank. And then you can modify once again. You can do your cobra or up dog. Knees off the ground or knees on the ground. Use that arm strength, use that shoulder strength to lower. Chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog. Breathe into the back bend, shoulders relax from the ears. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Engage your core, we'll float forward back into our plank position. We'll lower all the way down, so knees up or down. Use your arm strength, use your shoulder strength, and we'll take it down onto the mat. Working a little bit with the shoulder stretch here. So be really mindful of the shoulders. This can be a little bit of a deeper stretch, so if it's feeling okay and then a little bit of pain shows up, definitely just come on out of this one. We'll start by extending the left hand to the left side of the room. Feel your hand in line with the shoulder. Just make sure that the hand isn't too far out in front or behind, so we have that nice alignment of hand to shoulder. Option to stay here. This could be your nice shoulder stretch. If you'd like a deeper shoulder stretch, roll onto your left side of the body. The right leg can come up and over and create a little bit of a kickstand. So to make this stretch less intense, this right shoulder is going to roll to the right side of the room, so rolling towards that side of the room and down towards this side of the mat. To make this stretch deeper, this right shoulder is going to roll off to the left, almost like stacking the shoulders here. So just take a moment here, maybe close the eyes. Breathing into the nice stretch for the shoulder, for the rotator cuff. And then releasing, we'll move on to the stomach. As you realign the spine, right hand reaches off to the right. And then option to stay here. And side to side, it may be a little different. So more sensation may show up on this side than the first side. So rolling onto the right side as long as that feels okay. You can have that left leg coming up and over if you'd like. And then to deepen that stretch, this left shoulder rolls to the right. To lessen the stretch, right shoulder rolls off to the right. Closing the eyes here. And then just noticing where the stretch shows up, what that feels like. Breathing into that. Also maybe noticing if it feels very similar of a stretch on this side compared to the first side that we worked on. The stretch might feel similar, but it could also feel very different, one side to the next side. Remembering that your breath is your tool through the practice, so breathing into the stretch. And to release, we'll move on to our stomachs. We'll realign through the body here, pressing into table. And then from table, moving into our toe stance. So that's going to be a nice stretch to open up the bottoms of the feet, and we'll also take a shoulder stretch here. So toes will curl under, sit back onto the heels. Once again, just like we were working with at the beginning of our practice. We'll draw the hands onto the shoulders, begin to create circles here. And then flow in the opposite direction. And then to release, we'll come forward into table. Tap the tops of the feet out on the mat just to release the feet, release that toe stand stretch. And then moving into a seated pose, we'll begin to draw the feet to the front of the mat. We'll move onto our sitting bones. And then as we move on to our sitting bones, we'll transition onto our backs from here. So as you move onto your back, we will hug the knees up and into the chest. Maybe wrap the arms, the hands around knees or shins, and begin to create circles here. And then flow in the opposite direction. Winding our practice down, we'll take a posture called Sleeping Tiger. So extend the legs up towards the sky. We're also going to send the hands up. So nice gentle inversion here. You could point the toes, maybe flex the feet. You could also press out through the two ball mounds at the front of the foot and then spread out through the toes. Try to glue your shoulder blades into the mat. Try to feel the backs of the shoulders gluing down and connecting to the mat. Closing the eyes, connecting to the rise, connecting to the fall of the breath. Lengthening as you breathe in, lengthening as you breathe out. And then to release, we'll release the arms, releasing the feet to the edges of your yoga mat. Knees will be bent. Begin to draw the knees from side to side. So just nice, gentle release here. We'll move into Shavasana. We'll come into our resting pose of the practice. So as you move into Shavasana, we'll send our body along the mat and kind of taking up space here. You can extend the legs out, extend the arms out. Maybe tuck the tailbone here to lengthen the low back. Allow for the chin to tuck slightly to lengthen the back of the neck. Feel the toes and the heels gently rolling open. So it's going to give a nice passive stretch to the legs and to the hips. Maybe feel the palms facing up, gentle rotation through the shoulders. Feeling hands in an expression of receiving. And then in this time, try to clear the mind of thoughts. Allow for your body to be free of any tension. For the breath to deepen. Maybe wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. And then moving to your side, we'll transition to a fetal posture for a moment. Maybe creating a pillow with the bottom arm. Allow for the body to relax here. Transitioning to a comfortable seated posture when you're ready. So for the seated pose, the legs can be crossed if that feels comfortable, or you can extend the legs out in front of the body. Ending our practice with the hands at prayer at heart space into Anjali Mudra. Thanking yourself for practicing yoga, for doing something so good for your mind, body, and spirit. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.